Winter Rose, written by Ponglada K. ITTIMAKIN. Episode 2. The 7 long winter months passed by, leaving behind visible signs of drought and dryness in the trees and grass. Recent showers had started to revive the landscape with springtime freshness, and the hillside carpeted in yellow flowers grow doubly bright in the sunshine, as the warming earth heralded another season of growth in New Jersey. In the early morning, the dawn chorus filled the air, arousing the inhabitants to greet another new day, and fresh, active life blossom along with the change in the weather. "You are going right away? Won't you eat anything first?" Karen inquired anxiously. "I have arranged to meet you. We'll have a meal at school and then go and check the books in the library." "Oh," Irie continued, looking at her stylish white wristwatch. "I will be late if I dawdle here any longer." In her heart, Irie uttered a silent appeal to her mother. "Mom, I'm already overweight anyway. I really want to confide in you, Mom. But I know that you would say, 'Irie, you are much thinner than usual.'" Even though this would be an accurate observation, Irie's compulsion had made her blind to the truth. Her distress at realizing several months previously that there was someone more important than herself in her brother's life had made Irie decide to diet and follow a strenuous exercise regime. Her mother was unaware of the fact that after Irie ate dinner every day as usual, she would stick her fingers down her throat and make herself vomit in the toilet. This was now her regular habit. Some evenings, Irie slipped back into the kitchen, peeped into the fridge, then gorged herself with rich creamy desserts before, full to bursting, making herself vomit everything up in the bathroom. Initially, her throat had hurt when she had abused her body in this way, and she had suffered terribly. However, unwavering resolution to diet and lose weight had given her the determination to persevere. Her body had started to grow thinner until even her mother commented on the difference. Irie brushed away her mother's concern, saying aloud, "Sleeping late, studying hard is normal, Mom." Irie bluffed. This was partially true. It was Irie's last year of high school, and she had to try to get a good average grade so she could do well in the SATs, ready for when she applied to study further at university. Like almost all of her friends, she dreamed of studying at one of the top 10 institutions in America. Irie was lucky, getting grade 4 all the time, and she was satisfied with everything in life, except her perceived fatness. "Hurry up then, or you will be late for your appointment," urged her mother. "Okay, I will make sure I'm home for dinner." Irie kissed her mother as usual before hurrying out of the dining room. After her daughter had gone, Karen was alone by herself, and she could not help thinking about the change in Irie. On Irie's 16th birthday, her son, Cody, had not come to her party, only Irie's closest friends, although Iris had never said anything about this directly. Karen knew that her daughter had really wanted her brother to come and that she had been bitterly disappointed when he stayed away. And another strange thing, in the past, Iris had always spoken openly about how much she loved and missed Cody, but not anymore. If you only eat this, how can you be full? Are you dieting? I don't see you eating much these days at all. Just look at yourself. You are all skin and bones. Do you have a problem, Iris? Asked Hillary, a petite blonde teenage girl with red framed glasses, which matched her face, when they were eating together in the school cafeteria. Seeing that more than half of the hamburger was still left on Iris' plate. Nothing is wrong. I'm just not hungry, Hugh. Even if you are not hungry, you still have to eat. We are growing girls, you know. Our brains have to use energy for studying. We must eat nutritional food for our bodies. Don't think too much about athletics, Iris. Wasting food on your plate is not good. You should have eaten all of your hamburger. It's a waste. Hillary sincerely warned her friend. Hugh, I've said I'm not hungry, but you are still pushing me to eat. I know what I'm doing, believe me. Now, if you have finished eating, perhaps we can get back to studying. Seeing her friend disgruntled, Hillary fell silent, finished eating her own hamburger, and sucked hard on the straw to extract every last drop of milk from the carton. The two girls tidied the table, threw away the hamburger wrappers and milk cartons in the waste bin, returned the trays to the stack, and then left the cafeteria in search of a shady place where they could study for the next day's examination. What's wrong, Iris? You look awful. Are you sick? Hillary questioned her friend soon after this in alarm. Even in the mellow light under the spreading boughs of the tree, her friend's face looked deadly pale. I feel a little faint. I don't know what's wrong. Hugh. You see, this is what happens when you don't eat. I will go back with you to the cafeteria so you can eat something. Iris agreed with the suggestion of going back to the cafeteria, but insisted on going alone. Hugh, wait here. I will be back soon. Are you sure? You don't want me to go with you? Of course not. The cafeteria is only over there. Iris stood up quickly and walked off, not giving her friend a chance to go with her. She went over to the same cafeteria where she and Hugh had had lunch, but instead of ordering any food, she went over to the drinking water fountain, leaning over and pressing the button with trembling hands. She gulped down the jet of cool water that shot up. Feeling better, she straightened up and wiped the water from around her mouth with the back of her hand, afraid that her friend would suspect that she had not eaten anything if she returned too quickly. Iris sat down and, taking slips of paper from her purse, continued revising for the next day's exam for a while, before rejoining Hillary under the tree. Feeling better? If you had eaten lunch, there wouldn't have been any problem. Careful to do nothing to arouse Hillary's suspicions, Iris sat down next to her friend and picked up the book she had left on the velvety green grass, and soon both girls were immersed in their studies. The afternoon wore on. Then suddenly, as she was reading, blood dripped from Iris' nose, making crimson stains on the book. She quickly put down the book and, taking a white handkerchief from the pocket of her skirt, blotted the blood on the pages. Iris, what's wrong? Hilary cried in alarm. I'm just having a nosebleed. Don't worry. It will soon stop. No. You have to get to see a doctor. Now. I will go with you. Hilary quickly gathered together her books and put them in her tote bag before having her friend walk over to the clinic. Put your head back, Iris. Put your head back. The days turned into weeks and the weeks into months as spring gave way to summer and summer hovered on the brink of autumn. The trees along the roads, on the hillsides, and in the parks that had worn a fresh green mantle during the summer months now started to show off the autumn finery in shades of orange, yellow, and red. They stood resplendent in their golden hues as the bright heat of summer started to give way to the coolness of autumn. The sun set earlier day by day until it was already growing dusky by 4 in the afternoon, and the only light came from the street lamps on the highway, making the road as bright as day, so the traffic would not be inconvenienced. A young man in his early 30s drove his black sports car at high speed along a narrow lane flanked by trees, fields, and hills. He drew up in front of an imposing white building that stood out in the twilight. As he slammed the car door shut, it could be seen that he was a tall man, his worried expression clearly evident. In spite of fast fading light, he rushed inside the building, stopping briefly at reception before quickly following the directions he had been given along a maze of gleaming corridors. A middle-aged woman was already waiting anxiously in front of the emergency unit. I came as soon as I heard. Where is she? Cody asked his mother with concern. She's out of the ICU now, thank God. The doctor said that if she had been any later in getting to the hospital, it would have been too late to help her. Iris is so weak. She has some kind of eating disorder, bulimia and anorexia. The doctor says that it is common nowadays amongst young girls. More than 8 million American girls and women who want to have beautiful figures like movie stars or models have the same disease. Your sister was determined to lose weight, so she starved herself for many months. Thank God that the doctor could save her in time. She could have died, just like those Hollywood stars. Karen Carpenter from the Carpenters died of anorexia, Karen's face was deeply lined with worry as she babbled on nervously. This is so serious, Mom. I can't understand how it has happened. Cody was pale as he listened to his mother's words. You have not seen your sister since last winter, Cody. Not since she moved to the dormitory at Princeton. You will be shocked at the change in her when you see her. Cody was extremely worried about his sister. If he had known the real cause of the illness that had hospitalized her, he would never have forgiven himself for not understanding her better and for not taking better care of his only sister. Mother and son sat and waited anxiously in silence for a bulletin on Eileen's condition. Seeing a woman doctor wearing a white medical gown over her green cotton trouser come out of the unit, they both stood up. "How is she?" Cody asked the doctor right away. "Her blood pressure, pulse, and temperature are all back to normal. But her body is very weak. She needs a lot of rest. We are giving her a saline drip. She can leave hospital in a few days, but she will have to have consultations with the psychologist and nutritionist for a while. After that, it could take a month or even years. It all depends on the patient herself." "Anything you say, doctor. Anything that will make her better for as long as necessary." Karen implored, with tears of love and pity welling into her eyes. "I will pass the patient over to Dr. Tom Fendi. He is a specialist in this field. If you want to check anything, you can contact him. Now, if you will excuse me, I have to see my other patients." With this, doctor left them. "Go in and see your sister, Cody," Karen urged her son in a shaky voice before entering the ward. Just as Cody was opening the door, a white uniformed nurse came out. "You have arrived just in time. The patient is looking more refreshed," the young nurse said good-naturedly as she left the room. Even though she was so weak, Ivy tried valiantly to greet her mother and brother in a bright voice that contrasted painfully with the big, emaciated body that was the result of her starving herself for so many months. Her brown hair, once so luxuriant, was now dry and brittle. Her face was gaunt, with black circles under her eyes, and bruised mottled the tender skin of her daily white arms. "Hi," Iris said in a voice that, in spite of her efforts to sound cheerful, still betrayed her exhaustion and weakness. "Hi, sweetheart, how are you?" Karen tenderly greeted her adopted daughter, as if the fragile body stretched out on the bed was that of a little baby. "I'm sorry that I have made both of you worry. It's nothing much. Everything is fine now. The doctor has already told you, right? When can I get back to college?" In keeping with all sufferers of eating disorders, Ivy tried valiantly to hide her sickness. "Don't worry about studying at the moment. Right now, you have to get lots of rest. You must do exactly what the doctor, mother, and I say," said Cody, as he stroked his sister's hair. The eyes with which he looked at her were full of love, frank and tender, with no secrets lurking in their depths. How different from Irene, whose eyes, as they returned his gaze, burned with an unnatural intensity. Even Kellen could not fail to be aware of the contrast, but tried to conceal what she knew. The following day, Cody went to the hospital to consult with Dr. Tom Fendi, the specialist in eating disorders. Sitting in his office, listening to the doctor describe the nature of the disease from which his sister was suffering, Cody's face crumpled with concern and anxiety. There are 3 common forms of eating disorders: anorexia, bulimia, and gorging, Dr. Fendi explained. Anorexics want to look like models, refuse to eat and diet until they are thin as rakes, believing themselves to be fat even when they are not. This is the most difficult group to help. Bulimics overexercise and are within the average weight range. They eat an enormous meal once a day, gorging on anything they want, and then they make themselves vomit everything they have just eaten. The people in the third group are referred to as compulsive overeaters. They eat until they become fat and then diet. Irene now has an eating disorder in spite of the fact that she is a capable student, a top athlete, and is good at everything. Sadly, none of these things indicate inner contentment. Irene has never had any problems before. Cody interrupted. That shows that you do not understand Irene well enough. Dr. Fendi countered. Her problem is that she wants to be slim. The way to help her is through monitoring her food intake and exercise. However, these are both double-edged swords. You have to know the correct way of going about this. Otherwise, it will result in more harm than good. In your sister's case, after analyzing her condition and talking to her close friends, and your mother, I have come to the conclusion that she has both anorexia and bulimia. Why does she diet? Because she believes that if she is slim and attractive, she will be able to regain the attention from the person she loves. That cannot be the case. Irene isn't like that. She has never been deprived of love. Or do you mean that Irene wants to attract boyfriends? Cody asked, although not satisfied with what the doctor had said, because he could clearly remember that his sister was against the whole idea of dating. He recalled the evening when Irene had found Pamela and him together in the bedroom. I don't think so. Remember that you are not Irene's natural brother. What do you mean? I think you have understood correctly. The reason why Irene has become sick is that she wants to lose weight in order to get your attention. The doctor's comments plunged Cody into confusion, as he had never thought that this could be the cause of the problem. He involuntarily took a sharp intake of breath and muttered something to himself. Taking care of patients who have both physiological and psychological problems is not easy. It needs the cooperation of everyone involved in the situation. In Irene's case, you are the key figure, added the doctor, scrutinizing Cody. I will do whatever you want to make Irene get better. Oh, and about Irene's feelings for me. Cody's embarrassment made his voice waver. Is there a way to kill or change the situation? He continued, feeling suddenly uncertain about everything. That is a matter of frankness between you and the patient. Don't forget, honesty is very important. I think Irene will accept and understand that the most easily. Time will kill everything. I think you understand what I mean. Yes. If there is anything further, I can do to help, I will be happy to assist at any time. Cody stood up and shook the doctor's hand before leaving the room. He knew that he would have to try hard to hide his feelings and make everything seem normal before going to his sister's room. Irene was engrossed in reading and was startled when her brother quietly entered the room. Cody! The voice in which Irene greeted her brother was as cheerful as normal. All her attention immediately became focused on Cody, and she hugged his waist affectionately as he leaned over the bed. Remembering the doctor's words, Cody tried to move away a little without Irene observing. How are you, little one? Fine. I'm just bored staying like this. When can I go back to college? Don't concern yourself about studying. Even here in hospital, you are reading textbook all the time, aren't you? How do you know? A deep satisfaction that her brother was interested in her activities lay behind her question. This was what she wanted from him most of all. I don't need anyone to tell me. I can see for myself, said Cody, glancing at the textbook that Irene had put down on the bedside cabinet and making a pale pink flush of embarrassment suffuse the face that had become so deadly pale. Cody looked at her tenderly, trying to understand his stepsister. Irene, you have made yourself sick needlessly. No one is perfect or lucky all the time. You are my only little sister. I think of you as my real sister, even though you aren't. Whatever you are like, good, bad, fat, thin, it doesn't matter at all. These things won't make me lie love and concern for your disappear, said Cody, trying to emphasize the words sister. Maybe sometimes in the past I haven't given you enough attention, but you have to understand that I have my own life to lead. I have plans. We love each other. Someday you will fall in love with yourself, and then you will understand my feelings more clearly. Listen to me. Every word was falling with crystal clarity on the ears of the patient lying on the bed. Cody looked at his sister's face carefully before continuing, clasping his sister's hand. Love between young people is transient and pales into insignificance beside the pure love I have for you. No matter how much time passes, in my heart, I will always love my only little sister. What kind of love do you think is the most endearing love? Don't be biased. Always tell me your real feelings. Cody's face assumed a look of surprise when he saw his sister sobbing her heart out. He wanted to stroke her tenderly, but he knew that if he did, everything he had just said would have been in vain. The only thing to do was to let her cry and release her feelings. He waited until she had stopped weeping and spoke again gently. What's the matter? Do you understand now what I said? Whatever happens, I will always love and be concerned about you. That will never change. I really felt like a trapped animal. If she were to tell him her real feelings, nothing would be the same again. she endure that? But at least she had to say something. So, swallowing back her tears, she said meekly, "Yes, Cody, that's a good girl." Cody stroked his sister's hair tenderly, knowing full well that what Irie was saying was not true. But he also knew that time, however little or long, could resolve all situations. He had told Irie his honest feelings, so in time, Irie would have to adjust to the situation. Cody believed that one day, Irie would experience true love for herself. On that day, she would laugh at herself, recalling her feeling for him. "What's so funny?" Irie could not help asking, gazing into Cody's face and detecting a hint of laughter in his eyes. "Nothing. I will leave you to rest now," said Cody, standing up and moving away from the bed. "When will you come and visit me again?" questioned Iris softly. "I can't come so often. Business is waiting for me in LA. You understand?" "Oh, next month." He stopped himself mentioning the date of his wedding to Pamela just in time. Before leaving home that morning, he had resolved to tell her about their forthcoming marriage. But after learning the truth from the situation from Dr. Fendi, he had decided it was not appropriate to say anything when Alice's feelings were so fragile and raw. "What's the matter, Cody?" asked Eileen suspiciously. "Next month, by next month, I think you will be back to normal and can go back to college. Then I will visit you at your dormitory, okay?" "Oh yes, I will be waiting for you." Iris' eyes shone with pleasure that Cody was concerned enough to visit her at college. This alone sufficed to make her heart feel at peace.